Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Today we'll be doing another Vortex video. So I did showcase this team during my account overview, and I just finished a key doing about 70 million damage. So I wanted to showcase why the tier list in this game is so bad. It's very hard to make, first of all, but it's also bad because some champions that you would think are bad are sometimes incredible to use. So take for example this person who has the highest key. He is using a team that basically has a redundancy issue, right? He could probably do more damage than me because he has a fully inspired Flora, but the problem is that there's a redundancy going on. So both Urgok and Urgander place attack down. Now the role of Urgander is just that's it. He's just going to place attack down. So it's not the best champion use in my opinion, Urgander here, because he's not bringing anything else to the kit, right? Typically what you want, I think he would have Witches Remain. Yeah, so as I guessed, he's using him for Witches Remain. He will have the what is called Downpipe Organ, which gives attack to everybody else. This would be the fire exclusive artifact, so you can only use this artifact on fire champions or wild units. And Flora would have her exclusive artifact, which boosts this thing. But in his team the problem lies with Urgander, right? So if you think about it, Urgander is only hitting once. He's not doing anything else for the team. He's not providing any sort of ult increase or anything else. If I was making this team, I would probably replace Urgander and put Jorn, because Jorn increases the ultimate energy of your fellow of the surrounding champions. But then healing becomes a big issue because Urgok heals are nice, but they are not the best. So he heals based off his attack and enlightenment, and immortality can come in clutch in certain cases. But if you are getting into a position where immortality is getting clutch for you early on, then this is probably not the right champion for you. There are some significant issues that you need to check before that immortality checks in. So his heals are not that strong, and that's one of the problem with fire and poison teams, is that the healing that you are getting on the team, you're not able to capitalize it. And he would have the Solar King's Horn. Oh, he has the skill haste, so he's not getting any boost from the Solar King's Horn, which increases damage by 15%. So when I do my key, for example, so this is why you shouldn't be stuck with just one team in general. And if you actually go back here, we can check the rules. So the rules of this, there's something interesting that is happening now that was not there in the beta, and that is these rules. So the bosses take 30% more damage, and the bosses, this one we haven't unlocked yet, this will unlock at level 35, so they will take 30% more poison damage. I don't know why it says differently here. Bosses take 40% more crit damage. Yeah, but I don't know why it has two different kind of things. Maybe there's some sort of bug, or which rule is applied, I'm not really sure. So in this case, for example, my team has somebody who was considered by far in the entire community as the biggest trash champion in the game, and I was one of them. I used to consider him as trash as well in the previous season, but in this season so the Radiance team got a new hero as well, Alton, who's pretty solid, and he suddenly becomes a very important hero for you in Vortex. And that's why you shouldn't disqualify a champion that this is trash, or even I have done that in the past, and in my tier list you will see some C-rated champions. That does not mean that they are bad, it's just that finding the right team for them is harder. So he will only be good in this type of thing where fire is nerfed, basically, because previous season fire was used with Radiance and you could do a lot with it, but in this case it's not, so you can explore a lot. So fire or lightning teams can work really well in this season. So in my team, for example, the synergy wise, if you talk about, I have somebody called Asilia who's going to dispel all debuffs, heal, but that dispel is not going to do much unless I reach the level 4 where the boss actually places defense down on my team. But in this case, what is really important is this healing effect. It's not the amount of heals, which also is pretty high, She has her battle skill and her ultimate both healing AoE. But what is really important is that this is an incremental heal, meaning that I will be getting 10 heals in a very short duration, which allows me to maximize my Solar King's Horn. So when you're building a team, these are things that you really need to focus on. What artifact are you placing on your champion? Will that champion be able to fully utilize that artifact, right? And I have her in the Ancestral Protection set, so she's going to absorb the damage from my Sagomir, who will be taking Call of Lightning, and also from the remainder of the team. So the survivability is good. I don't have level 100. The other guy had level 100 Flora, but I do not have that. I don't want to waste. I hate Goblin personally. I don't think that is a right move in a season over season, because I do want to test out other champions, and I cannot spend time with Goblin, honestly. Between gear farming and Goblin, I would rather choose gear. So this is why she's so overpowered in a Vortex comp, especially when you have her with the Solar King's Horn. Now, talking about the team, my main source of damage dealer will be Filter, and he has a very interesting ultimate that whenever he has Rally, he will first off do basically triple the damage that he will do regularly, and then he charges his ultimate energy by 20%. So this makes it really powerful, and you want a constant source of Rally on him. So that's why my choice of Alton, who will be placing Rally on champions that do not have Rally with a 50% chance, and it provides them with damage bonus if they have Rally. So if you think about it, I'm boosting my ultimate damage even further. And then we have Laurenthiel. Laurenthiel is a must for any Rally team. Even if you don't have an Alton or anybody, without Laurenthiel you really cannot fully maximize the damage from a Rally team. He is basically the damage maker. He's not going to do that much damage. So what I did with him is I've built him with a lot of attack and placed the Dawn Pipe Organ, which is going to give attack to the range units, meaning that all three of these are going to get I think it's 10% of the wearer's attack. Yeah, so they're going to get 600, basically 700 more extra attack, and that's going to be a lot in this team. As you can see, I didn't build him with that. I didn't have much amazing gear for the ruins, and I don't have amazing gear for all of them. I'm just utilizing what I have and trying to figure out what I can do to boost the damage of one particular unit. Now let's go to our Sagomir, because this is the true surprise of the combination. His ultimate is a 2-hitter first of all. So this allows you to have a greater chance to place the defense down or the defense penalty debuff with this, because for each hit is going to try to have a 60% chance to proc this. So most occasions he's going to place it, whereas if you compare it to a single hit ultimate, it will work much better, because they're not going to place the defense down 40% of the time, right? And this one we can just let it go. Defense up is sometimes nice. If he's taking the damage from Call of Lightning, he has a better chance of surviving. But this is where it's important, right? So you saw that the ultimate of Filto recharges by 20% when he has Rally. So what I wanted to do is give him more ultimate energy, and this will also provide him with more ultimate energy. And Laurenthiel on his ultimate also provides with more ultimate energy, recharges the ultimate energy by 25%. So it's really important, the synergy of a team. It's not that you have, sure, Flora is S tier, and none of these champions besides Acelia is an S tier champion in my opinion, but it's the synergy that drives the team. It's not that you need OP legendaries, it's what you have and what you can make out of it. So that would be my takeaway, and I do want to showcase this since the damage difference is so high, and we'll go over. So you can see that he boosted the ultimate energy of, so first off I'm gonna just cancel this one out because sometimes he goes first. So as you can see, I place the defense down, and yeah, now they will be mostly in sync. So they're consuming Rally, he's gonna get more ultimate energy, everybody's getting more ultimate energy. And sometimes I've seen Filto being able to ult before, like I said, before the defense down went away. So I did 4.5 million in a matter of seconds, right? So this is all due to the synergy of the team, to make sure they always have Rally, or there's a higher chance of them having Rally. And this is the third ultimate within 40 seconds, right? So we are already at 7 million damage in less than a minute. And this is the beauty of synergies within the comps. So if you think about like tier lists, even if you have epics, rares, it doesn't matter what you have or what they are rated as. What you want is to build a synergy, somebody who's doing the healing, somebody that is boosting the damage, somebody that is providing you with sustainability in the team. And all these factors really go into the building of a team in this game. This is the only gacha that I've played where team synergy is so important compared to other games that I've played. Because if you think about it, there are no weak hits against a different affinity, there are no strong hits against a different affinity, so it really comes down to team building. And when you're building these kind of teams, you have to, one debuff that is really important is going to be attack penalty 2, and you have to find a consistent source for it. That is usually the crux of the problem, where most people do not find enough champions or enough time duration that they can keep that attack down on the enemy. In this case, even I cannot keep the attack down fully. I think I have an 8-second downtime on this boss, and that's what you're basically trying to do. You have to find whatever is available to you, a synergy between them. And granted, this comp is not going to be available to all of you. I understand that, and I'm not making a point that yeah, you can do this much damage with epics and vortex, epics on vortex, or even with rares on vortex. My point is to try to forget about tier lists and focus on basically what is the synergy that you can create in the team. But yeah, this was the video that I wanted to make. I wanted to bring out the message that don't be over concerned whether your champion is rated S, whether your champion is rated A, B, C, whatever it is that I've posted. Most important is always going to be the team synergy, and you need to find that synergy somehow to excel within the content within the game. The content is not going to be that hard, don't take me wrong. There's going to be some areas where you will have issues with. For example, Fey Meander in beta was incredibly hard after stage 150, so I'm hoping that's not the case. But you can pretty much clear all content in this game up to stage 9 and whatever with rares and epics, except arena. And all you gotta do is look at the champion skill, think who's going to be my damage dealer. There have been plenty of people who told me like, oh, Hubert deals more damage, and it may be true for them. In their team composition, that might be the case, but in my experience, like Filto, I wanted to go with Filto because I wanted to have this, I want to make a team where the ultimate recharge is really, really fast, and I can just go on and do as much damage as possible. So we are at 34 million, 35 million within 3 minutes. So this is the direction that you need to think of when you're making teams. Even for PvP, you gotta stick to an affinity. In some cases, for arena, you can ignore it if you're building something like a tank comp. We will get that to later. I'll do a whole arena guide, how to do with what do you need later. But for PvE content, this is what you need. You need somebody who's doing constant attack downs, you need somebody who's doing constant heals, and you need somebody who's your DPS. If you are lacking on heals, yeah, place 2 healers, 3 healers, or place 2 healers, 2 attack down champions, and let your DPS just go slowly kill the boss or do as much damage as they can, because the more sustain you have, the higher the chance of you doing excessive damage. So it's not really like a short burst that you need to do. You need to think carefully about like, okay, how am I going to sustain this team? I just don't want to go in with all nukers, do like couple of hits and then just back out. You want to maximize your sustainability so you are able to do as much damage as possible. But we'll skip to the end of this run. So there you go, we did about 76 million damage. There is some RNG to these fights, depending upon how many times he has rally when he's ultimating, and how many times you put defense down. There is obviously a chance that you won't place the defense down, but he did like 62 million damage. And even though Sagomir didn't do any damage, right? Like, of course, Aselia is there for the heal, so understandable. But even though Sagomir didn't do any damage, he was responsible for a lot of the additional damage that we were able to do. We were able to place defense down, we were able to increase the ultimate energy of Filto. So you gotta keep all these synergies in check. If any of the synergies break, the damage can vary a lot. For example, if I just make Aselia the highest HP compared to Sagomir, my damage would drop by 20 million. So these are the things that you have to be careful about, and hopefully you got a chance to learn something from this video. Please drop a like and share this video with anybody you think will benefit from this. I'll see you guys next time.